to consider when applying to NUI Galway. And my colleague Maria, who you just saw as well, she'll tell you all about how you can apply, our entry requirements and other related matters. And then finally, you hear from a past student of ours, Siddhant, all about his experiences of studying with us. And as I said, our session is being recorded today. If you have any questions, please do put them in the chat box and we'll try and get to some afterwards. And one of my colleagues will be there to answer your questions as well. And we'll also be hosting a live Q&A session from 1 to 3 p.m. today. And we'll include a link to this session in our chat box as well, in case you think of anything after this call. Okay then, let's get started. So firstly, I think you should know a little bit about Ireland as a destination. I'm sure you and maybe your parents as well will be happy to know that Ireland and Galway are quite a safe place. Galway is a global medtech hub, and our location on the edge of Europe has made us a desirable location for many multinationals. One of the key pillars of our university is research. So if you have a scientific and a curious mind, you'll feel right at home. And our 24-month stay-back visa gives you the option to seek employment after your studies. So I'll tell you now a little bit about our university. So NUI Galway has been inspiring minds since 1845 as a research-led university, as it's one of the oldest and largest in the country. We are at the heart of a distinct and vibrant region, renowned for its unique culture, creative industries, medical technologies, marine ecology, economy, and innovation. And the university consists of 5 primary colleges. So we've got the College of Arts, Social Sciences and Celtic Studies, the College of Business, Public Policy and Law, the College of Medicine, Nursing and Health Sciences, and the Colleges of Science and Engineering and Informatics. And we also have 3 partner universities. So they're the Shannon College of Hotel Management, which is the only one of its kind in the country, St. Angela's College in Sligo, and the Byrne College of Art. We offer over 70 undergraduate programs and 189 postgraduate programs to choose from, with close to 20,000 students. So, of course, I need to mention our ranking. In 2020, the QS published their 17th edition of the World University Ranking. So NUI Galway achieved its highest ever rank in this edition of the ranking, and we ranked at 238th in the world. And not only is it ranked among the world's top universities, but NUI Galway is the top Irish university for the world's most influential scientists, with 4 of our researchers ranked among the world's most influential scientific minds. And some of these lecturers teach on the courses too. So as I said, if you have a curious and a scientific mind, you will feel right at home. So then in terms of our location, I might be biased, but I do believe that we've got one of the most beautiful locations in Europe, if not the world. The university is located on the rugged west coast of Ireland. We're surrounded by beautiful landscape, Connemara close by. We're located on the Wild Atlantic Way, and Galway itself is an incredibly vibrant and cosmopolitan and charming city. The university itself, it's located right in the heart of the city. The campus is large, and we've got 90 buildings and land that's sprawling through the town. And it's actually 10 kilometres if you walk from one end to the other, which is a little known fact I recently learned. I haven't walked it all yet though. There's a biodiversity trail, a river, and a stunning quadrangle all as part of the campus as well. And then the city itself, it's only 10 minutes walk in one direction from the university, and the ocean is 15 minutes in the other direction. Which is really lovely. And the ocean is wild sometimes, and many of our students are challenging themselves at the moment to go for a cold dip in the sea every day. So it's something that you have to do at least once if you come to study at NUI Galway, but I would recommend maybe not starting in November. You know, you have to ease yourself into these things. So then in terms of where we are in the country, Ireland is a small enough country, so it's relatively easy to get around. So Galway is situated just 2 hours from Dublin. We're on the Wild Atlantic Way. So this is a coastal route from north to south of Ireland, and it's one of the longest in the world. There are good links between Galway and the rest of the country with public transport, and it takes just 2 hours to get to the capital. There is good rail and bus, as I mentioned, so it links the city to the rest of the country. And then beyond that, there are 3 airports, and Europe is very close by. So Galway is a city of vibrancy, of culture, arts, festivals and fun. The most spectacular being the Arts Festival, which takes place during the summer. There's plenty of things to do all year round, from fresh donuts in the market on Saturday mornings, to watching the Galway hookers out on Galway Bay, walking the Salthill Prom, or heading out to Connemara to the National Park. And NUI Galway contributes to this cultural dynamism through a diverse range of teaching programmes focused on the creative arts. The university really does play a big part in the vibrancy of the city, and it's often involved in many of the festivals and events. But of course, don't just take my word for it. Galway is time and again recognised as being a great place. It's been voted the friendliest city in the world, the most charming city, and is regularly named in Lonely Planet's Best in Travel. And as we mentioned, the festivals of Galway are known around the world. So attending any of these events will leave you feeling both awestruck and inspired. I know that's how I always feel when I go to them anyway, and I always do make a point of calling to them because they're just such spectacles. So from the giant creations and pyrotechnics at the annual Halloween Macnas Parade to the week-long film festival that brings filmmakers and audiences from around the globe, there's so much on. My favourite, and I think maybe the most famous, has to be our Arts Festival. And this takes place in 2 weeks in the summertime. There's theatre, street performance, art installations, music, and we get audiences and artists who travel from all over the world to attend and present at this event. So then bringing it to our international community within the university. We've got a larger international community than any other city in Ireland, according to the most recent census. And NUI Galway is home to almost 4,000 international students from 110 different countries, making us the most international university in Ireland. Our international focus is inspired by our location in Galway, and as we said, it's a diverse city and it's got a tradition of reaching out to the world. So we have student exchange programs with over 200 international universities around the world, and also have a global community of staff. 35% of our staff are from overseas, coming from 45 countries. So when you come to Galway, you're immediately coming to a community. So when thinking about studying in NUI Galway, then we recommend that you plan in advance how much money you'll need to save. I know that it's uncomfortable when you arrive somewhere new and realise maybe you don't have enough money to live comfortably. So we've put together this cost of living guide, and this can help you inform your savings before you arrive here. So you'll need to think about rent. And as we mentioned, I think I mentioned before, we've both on-campus and private options to choose from. And there's plenty of time to do your research into this before you arrive. And then this might lead you to think about your phone bills, your internet and electricity. So sometimes some of these services will be covered in your rent, but other times they will not. You need to think about how you like to eat. So there's lots of great restaurants in Galway, but there's also lots of price-friendly grocery stores. We've great Asian ethnic food market too. So for some of you, you'll be able to recreate meals from your home country. And I think this is a really nice way to mix with new housemates or classmates. And you can introduce each other to your culture through your cuisine. There are lots of clothes shops in Galway, and it's a city that welcomes any unique style. I do recommend a raincoat for the wetter months, and of course then it's nice and sunny in the summer. So you'll also need to think about college materials too, whether to buy them new or secondhand. Galway itself is a small city, so I do recommend a bike if you're living near enough to college to travel in and out every day. It's a great way to get around the city because it's not a very big city. Otherwise, the bus service is quite good, and a one-way trip costs sometimes about €2. And then finally, you need to think about what you like to do in your spare time. There's lots of free things to do around Galway, and lots of experiences to spend your money on too. So have a think about how you like to spend your time. And you can, allocate your savings then accordingly so that you arrive here knowing what to expect. And there's no doubt that studying abroad is an expensive experience, but it's so worthwhile too. So we do have a number of scholarships available, which Maria will discuss with you later on. So as we mentioned, we've got our student accommodation. So we've got loads of options to choose from. We have a number of on-campus residences with single occupancy and shared occupancy rooms. And there's also a huge range of private accommodation around Galway to choose from as well. And our accommodation and welfare office can point you in the right direction of where exactly to go to find your accommodation. It helps to talk to past students as well. Of course, some are vacating rooms, so might give you a good link there. And others have good advice on how to find accommodation in the city. So our staff and students will support you however we can with this, because it's not easy, we know. So employment in Galway after you finish your studies is a real possibility. Galway is one of the world's leading global medtech hubs, as I mentioned. We have many multinationals based here in the city, and some are based in other counties in Ireland as well. So there's lots of employment both in Galway and further afield, but you definitely don't need to leave Galway. It's a great place and there's lots of employment here. So if you study at NUI Galway then with your year-long master's course, you'll be eligible for the 2-year stay-back visa scheme, which will allow you to remain in Ireland for employment. So during your studies then, there are plenty of opportunities to network with these employers. We've got many strong industry links, and each course hosts guest lecturers from local companies. So some courses offer an industry placement, while other courses enable students to take on the role of consultants and work directly with an assigned real-life company to address specific problems and develop a research-based solution. So our Career Development Centre then can work one-to-one with you to prepare you for life after learning. They provide workshops on CV writing, interview skills and career guidance so you can get the support you need to succeed. They also host a large careers fair once a year where students get to meet prospective employers who wish to hire new graduates, and it's a great way to network. And I know the Career Centre will be hosting a webinar today as well, so you can check in there. So as I mentioned, then we've got many industry partners across all disciplines, and we have a really good employability rate. So we definitely provide you with an excellent opportunity to excel your career both during and after your studies. So throughout the next year, if you are engaging with us, you'll have the opportunity to meet and speak with our international student ambassadors. So these are some of our current students, and they know what it's like to make the move from your home countries. So we have 40 student ambassadors enrolled in an exciting program this year, and they come from all over the world. You can meet them virtually, of course, on our Instagram page, where they'll be, or you can read some of their blogs that they've written as well about their experience on our international student blog. So they'll be recording their daily life in NUI Galway. They'll be recording some campus tours and some other content, and it'll be a great way for you to visualize how you might live your life at NUI Galway. So do have a look at our Instagram account for our upcoming student ambassador activity. And then finally, as I mentioned, we're going to be hosting our live Q&A today from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. So if you do have any questions that you didn't get to ask in this session, or that you might think of during some other sessions, you can log on to that link and ask our questions there. So thank you so much from me. I'm going to hand you over to my colleague Maria now, who's going to take over.
Thanks, Katie, for that. Hi everyone, so I'm going to talk today just a little bit about applying to NUI Galway and the scholarships as well.
Oh, Maria, you're on mute now.
Sorry, I don't know how that happened. So how to apply is the first part. So applications are now open, if they've been open since the 1st of October. So to apply, you have to pay a €35 application fee for your first application, and then your second application fee is waived. So 2 program options are available per application, but no limit to applications that one student can make. So you can apply for as many programs as you want. So you pay for the first one, then the second one, the application is free. If you want to pay for a third application fee, and then the fourth one will be free again. So that's just how it works. So then only complete applications are reviewed. So just make sure once you have submitted your application that you have completed it. You will receive a notification saying that your application is complete, and then you will know it's ready for the program director to review. So then check in advance what supporting documents you require. So usually it's the standard proof of ID, personal statements, references, and your transcripts. Some other programs do look for CVs and projects. So then we're going to just have a look at some of the academic requirements. So I'm going to look at our most popular markets, which are China, India, Nigeria, and USA. For any other countries, if you're not from one of these countries, you can go onto our international office website where there's a Your Country section, and your country should be listed on this page. So for the first one, so first of all for China, so if you're from China, you'd be aware that there are different tiers in China. So if you're from tier 1, mostly they do look for 2-1 in postgraduate degrees. So it's usually around 75% for tier 1 universities, and if you're less than tier 1 university, you're going to go with around 80%. There are some programs that do accept the lower grade of 70 or 75, but it is usually around 75 to 80%. Then in India, we accept the bachelor's and master's degree as the minimum requirement. So if you're from Delhi, Mumbai, or Pune, the minimum requirement is usually around 62%. Otherwise, it's 65%. And then the lower requirement is 52% for Delhi, Mumbai, or Pune, and then 55% for every other university. Then for Nigeria, we accept the bachelor's degree from a government recognised university with a minimum of 3.3 out of 5 CGPA or upper second class. And then some of the programs do accept the 2.4 out of 5 or a lower second class. And then for the postgraduate diploma in Nigeria, it's the same. And then from the USA,
Now you're on mute.
sorry, did I freeze there?
I think so. That's okay. Can you see English language entry requirements?
Yeah, sorry. I thought you froze. I was like,
no. It's kind of a stormy day. let's call it that.
Yeah, okay, so that's fine. So then we're going to go on to the English language requirements. So the standard entry requirement is an IELTS with 6.5 with no less than 5.5 in any other band. And then for TOEFL, it's 88 and PTE it's 61. And the Duolingo is 110. I'm not really sure why that's kind of blurry, but so then if you're interested in computer science data analytics, there is a higher requirement of 6.5 overall, with a writing band of 6.5 and any other band no less than 6. So just make sure that you go onto our entry requirements page, and it will show you the different requirements for different programs. So standard ones are the ones that I mentioned, and then there is about 10 or 12 program specific requirements. So just make sure you check those out. So then we have some English language programs available. So these are just to help to assist you into accessing some of the courses to the university. So we have a 25-week program, a 10-week program, and a 4-week program. So we have a 25-week program that runs from February to August. So it has an entry requirement of 5.0 in one band and no less than 5.5 in any other band. And you have to make sure that you have a conditional offer for an undergraduate or postgraduate program for these programs. So then we have a 10-week one, which is you need an IELTS score of 6 with a minimum score of 5.5 or a Duolingo of 105. And this runs from June to August. And this has 250 hours of tuition. So then we have a 4-week program, which is an IELTS score of 6.5 or a Duolingo of 110, and runs from August the 3rd to the 27th of August. So this is a new program that we're running this year. So all programs will be online and great access way into the university if you haven't reached your IELTS requirement for your course yet. So then moving on to scholarships, one of the most important topics for students, I suppose. So first of all, we're going to start with the undergraduate and postgraduate scholarship. So for these scholarships, you don't need to actually apply for the scholarships. Your profile is assessed on what you submitted when you applied for your program. So we'll be reviewing your transcripts and your personal statement that you would have submitted with your application, and you'll be shortlisted from those documents. So there's no actual pathway for you to apply for the program. You just have to make sure that you have an offer on the program and you've accepted the offer by paying the deposit. So then we have some region-specific scholarships. So we have Africa, North America, South America, Southeast Asia, and then 2 India's specific scholarships as well. So if you go onto our scholarship page, you'll find a form there that you just need to fill out. So it just starts off with your name and your student number, and then there's a little section for you to put in a personal statement of a maximum of 500 words. It does give a little brief before where you type in the personal statement of what we would like you to include in it, just to give you an idea. Then we are part of the China Clada Scholarship Scheme this year for €2,000. There's the link for that one as well on our page, and the Government of Ireland Scholarship 2021 hasn't been confirmed yet of what they're going to offer. Last year there was a €10,000 stipend and a full tuition fee waiver. So then some programs, colleges and other scholarships are available. So if you go to our international website and International Office website and go to the fees and scholarships page, you'll see them all there. So then getting ready to study in Ireland. So just make sure that you have your tuition fee paid before you come here. Make sure that you have your health insurance sorted. You'll find a lot of information about health insurance on our website. So prepare your immigration or travel documents, so your passport and your flight tickets and everything like that. Make sure that you have your travel arrangements made, so any buses that you need maybe from when you're coming to Galway, you don't need to really necessarily book them before you come, but just have an idea of the times that they are going to be leaving Dublin at. And they do go every hour from Dublin, so there's lots of buses to choose from. So you can pack your things, as Katie mentioned earlier. Make sure you pack a nice rainy coat for Galway and Ireland in general, and then obviously some nice clothes for the summer. And then make sure that you have your visa application done, so I'll be talking about that. And then plan your budget, and Katie went through this with you as well about the budget kind of cost of living that you'll need to take into account when you're planning your trip here. And then booking your accommodation also, as Katie mentioned earlier. So then just a little bit about your visas. So there are some countries that you don't require a visa, and so they're just listed there. Hopefully, if you're lucky, your country will be listed in this list. Even if it's not required, you still need to register with immigration when you arrive in Ireland within the first few weeks. So for those of you who have to apply for a visa, you just have to have some of your personal documents for the application. So your passport has to be valid for 12 months, including 2 photocopies of the passport bio page. If you've held a previous passport, you must also submit this. So then a signed summary of your online application form, some passport photos, a signed letter of application outlining the nature and duration of your proposed stay in Ireland, and must include your contact details. You also need to have an offer letter for the university, from the university as well. So here's just a few pictures of the students in NUI Galway and what they do outside of their lectures. So some people, go rowing and kayaking and canoeing down by the river just off campus. So you can do that if you join one of the rowing clubs. The swimming pool also in the picture, and some other events happening around campus. So for more information, our general email address is international@nuigalway.ie. So make sure you follow our social media pages. Facebook is NUI Galway International, Instagram is NUI Galway International, and the Twitter is @StudyInGalway. So a great way to follow our student ambassador stories and everything else that's happening on campus. So next we're going to have Siddhant, who is an alumni from the university who did a master's in business analytics and is now working as an analytics manager at Wayfair.
Hi all, how are you all? So I see that the session was going on good. I joined a little bit early to see what is going on and to get a hold of what the session is about. So basically I would share my experience at NUI Galway and why I chose to come in here. So I had, before coming to Ireland and doing my master's from NUI Galway, I had around 5+ years of experience in a different background. And I wanted to actually explore analytics from a business perspective, because I thought that is the next future thing that is growing up. And while looking for options in US and Ireland, I found this course in NUI Galway, which was very good, and it has a lot of potential and a lot of new technologies that were the the course was touch basing to. So I joined this course. I decided to come in here and do my master's here. During my time, I enjoyed my time fully, because it was around 5 years into corporate world, after which I was again joining the college. So the excitement was there, and I was part of many societies. I enjoyed the time here, and I could also pursue my um, one thing that I like, that is photography. So I could pursue that as a career in NUI Galway through the connections I made. So I was part of, like, I was heading this international student society group, and through that I contacted some of the vendors outside, and I could actually work as a photographer and actually pay some of my rent through it. So it was a good time doing that here. And then I was also working with CDC and doing some official photo shoots in the college. And even I also planned a trip through this society to Belfast for all the students together, so that they can enjoy the time during the holidays. So it was a good time that I spent. And even after completing my course, I'm still attached to NUI Galway. I still go for taking some classes and some sessions to the master students. So it has been a great journey with NUI Galway, and I'd like to be part of it going forward as well. So yeah, that is me, and that is how I actually utilized my 1 year, which is a short period of time to complete your masters, because it's like the 1 year goes like anything. You won't even realize that you joined the course, and by the time the course is completed, you're like, oh, I need to search for jobs and stuff. So it's very short time, but I think you can make most out of it if you are more active around the college campus and you are connecting with people and actually taking the opportunity to join some of these clubs that were shown in the previous slides. Yeah.
Thanks, Siddhant. And I think you made a great point there about why you chose your course. I think CNN had it as one of the top or in the top 10 new emerging careers. So yeah, you got it in there nice and early with it. So that was great. And you're working in Wayfair now. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
yeah. I joined Wayfair as an intern during my course period. Like basically, I joined in February before the second semester exams were there. So I joined in February as an intern. Then once my course was completed, so before my exams were actually ending, I got an offer for a senior analyst role, and then I moved up the ladder to become a manager analytics now. So I'm working Wayfair, enjoying it, and still in Galway, near to the college, still living near to the college. So I enjoy going here and there whenever I get time and meet people like some of my teachers and people I work with there.
Okay, that's really good. Um, I'm going to ask if anybody has any questions for any of us. You're more than welcome to pop them into the chat box or to raise your hand and come on screen as well. And if not, we can answer your questions during our live Q&A session too.
Hi, my name is Enshita. So I had one question related to the scholarship. So last time I had a word with one of the representative of NUI Galway, and she kind of told me that in the month of December, the actual portal for scholarship will open, where you can submit your SOP and your documents. So I just wanted to ask for 2021 when the portal is going to open.
Yeah, sure. I should have said that in the presentation, which is obviously the biggest part, is that the applications are open. We just opened them this week. So we're going to send out an email to all the students that have accepted offers. So just make sure you've accepted your offer by paying your deposit before you apply for the scholarship. So I'm just going to put it in the, okay, yeah, in the link here. the chat box for the scholarships. So you'll see on the right hand side there's a hyperlink where you just fill out the form.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay, so Emma Jordan has asked, is there a deadline for graduate applications or a time you recommend we submit them by? So our application portal is open now, as Maria mentioned, and we recommend that you apply as soon as possible. Our applications are judged on a rolling basis, and you'll be awarded your position or awarded your place based on your application. And then once all seats in that course are filled, then the applications will close for that course. So that's why we do say to apply, you know, as soon as you've made your decision. You know, it's better to get it in early.
I'll answer the question here. So this question, my first language is not English, but I'm working in Ireland for more than 3 years. Still, do I need to present an English language qualification? So in relation to English language qualifications, if you require a visa, you will need to do an English language test. If you don't require a visa, then you wouldn't need to do one, as long as the program director accepts what you've been doing for the last few years would show that you do have a strong English language skills.
So I'll take the next one. Are there any employment resources for international students interested in working while doing their studies? So we do have a number of students that work during their masters. You know, we're based in a city, so there's lots of employment. You might not necessarily be able to work in your chosen field, because I think with visa restrictions, you're limited to how many hours you can work on your student visa. But our Career Development Centre will be able to help you however they can. And there is often, you know, casual employment advertised through them and through our Students' Union as well.
Just to add that there are some opportunities inside college as well, and I would recommend once you come in early, you can try to get those, like applying to those, and those will give you a good edge over other jobs that you work on outside, because it will be related to your studies or might be related to something related to entrepreneurship and stuff. So it would be great if you can try to get hold of one of the jobs inside the colleges as well.
So is there an application for student accommodation? So there is, and if you go onto the application and welfare webpage, you'll be able to find out how to apply for the accommodation there.
Hi, I was just wondering how quickly we'll need to register with the Garda on arrival, because I know with COVID restrictions and traveling and all that, I don't know if maybe you can do that online, just what the turnaround time would be.
So usually before the pandemic, you'd have to register with immigration within, I think it was 3 weeks before you started here, but now it's going on taking it's, you know, a lot longer this time around. They're making appointments for the students, or kind of student services, and so there's no real strict deadline this time around, because people are coming to Ireland on all different dates, and because there's such a big backlog of students, there's not the same restrictions as before.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
And in Galway, just to add to that, like, it's not online, unlike Dublin. There is a online process, but in Galway, it's more of walk-in. So you get an appointment and go, which is much faster and much easier, because you don't have to send your passport somewhere and like wait for months to get it back. So it's much easier and better to do it in Galway. Like, you just walk in to the date and time they tell you and just get a stamp and come back. So it's very easy that way.
Awesome. Love that. Thanks.
So do you think it's cheaper to live in student housing or find something local? So it depends, I think, on the something local that you find. You know, there's all different styles of accommodation. You can absolutely get accommodation that's cheaper than student accommodation, and you can definitely get accommodation that's more expensive as well. So it's just, I think, about finding out what you want. You know, how many people do you want to share with? Do you want a single room on your own? Do you want meals provided? All these kinds of things. So on the Accommodation and Welfare website, they will, you know, all those options are there to view, and it depends what you want as well. So how do you expect autumn 2021 to be impacted by COVID, and what's the plan for accepted students if the pandemic worsens? So I think this is a hard question, but I think everybody is, this is an important question too. So as of now, we obviously, like everybody else, we don't know what's happening with COVID and what will happen in the future. The universities in Ireland are acting on the governmental advice, so they will always be sticking to public health guidelines. So in terms of the teaching delivery then, if at all possible, students will be on campus, apart from the blended and online learning courses that would anyway be delivered online. So as much as possible, we will have students on campus, but again, it just depends on you know, the situation.
I could just answer the question there about the PhD scholarship. I actually don't know the answer to that question though, Katie. Do you know by any chance? So
can I apply for a PhD scholarship if I continue to work from home for my country? I'm actually not sure, and I think the best person to speak to about that, or at least to link in with, would be the program director. So Marcella, if you want to send us an email with some more details, I'm going to put our email address into the chat box, and we can kind of take your query from there.
Yeah. So since I'm in final year, do I need a transcript to apply, or will copies of my mark sheets work provisionally? So I suppose when you're in your final year, it does make it a little bit more complicated, but if you just submit as much as you have, if you have any unofficial transcripts, they may take that into account until you submit your official transcripts. So it kind of depends a bit with the admissions office, but they would, you know, review your transcripts if they were unofficial until you then supply your official documents.
Okay, the next question is about insurance, and I'm not sure, maybe Maria, I don't know the total answer to this, but so please advise on what is meant by comprehensive health insurance and for what amount of insurance cover this is required for Garda and how much time. Will an existing insurance of origin country be accepted by Garda for completing arrival formalities?
I'm just looking it up here. So it says, please note that you can only arrange health insurance with an Irish health insurance provider when you're living in Ireland.
Yeah, I can answer that because
Katie,
I have...
Maria, I just put it into the link there, into the chat box, the link for the recommended NUI Galway health insurance, which is Study and Protect Medical Insurance. It's on our website, and the link I've put into the chat box there.
Great, thanks Dermot. And for everybody listening, Dermot is a colleague of ours, so, you know, and has lots of experience. He covers the Indian market, so perhaps some of you have met him already or will meet him again in the future. Are there any other questions? I don't think so. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. Do log on to our Instagram account later on. We'll have Maureen and Dishant speaking about their experiences, so they'll be answering some questions from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. And we have another student joining us tomorrow. I think she's on at 12 o'clock. And we will have more going on during the week as well. We actually did get some more questions. So Maria, what's the difference between the two Indian scholarships?
There's actually no difference between the two Indian scholarships. They just have a different name, basically. That's the only difference. Yeah, so there's no difference between them. Yeah, so I'm recording the session at the moment and we'll be uploading it later.
So it'll go onto the webpage where you got the link to this session. It'll go onto our international office webpage, and it will go onto our YouTube channel. You're welcome, Courtney. So if we accept the offer from NUI Galway, are we still encouraged to apply elsewhere since it is early for other universities? That is up to you, Isabel. I would think no, just come to NUI Galway, but that's just my opinion.
You don't need to go anywhere else.
Okay, I think that might be it, Maria. Thanks, Siddhant. That was thanks for joining us.
Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Speak to you all later.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.